Radio check.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, what's good, man?
Still, I guess maybe I didn't mention it last time. I'm trying to learn to speak Chinese, so I'm concentrated pretty hard on that. And in the past couple days, I came across a pretty neat app that's called Hello Talk. And basically, like, you just go onto the app and you say that, like, you're trying to learn some language and you're like a native speaker of some other language, like English. And then people that want to learn English will do the reverse, and it like pairs you with people. So because I'm trying to learn Chinese, it's paired me with a bunch of like people that speak Chinese that want to learn English, but they don't speak English. And so then you can just chat with them. Like, you can text back and forth basically through the app. And there's like built-in translation if you want. And then you can also like audio chat or whatever. And there's people that like will host like audio chats, or you can host your own audio chat, or like when you're messaging someone, you can plan to like do an audio chat. And so I'm gonna do one of those later tonight for the first time with just like somebody else on the app. But it's a pretty cool thing. Like, I logged on there, and within like the time zones are different, but whenever it was like daytime for Beijing, I was getting like all these messages from like people that were just asking me, like, they're like, "Hey, how are you doing? Like, do you want to like be study partners basically?" Or just, that either means just like message back and forth and practice each other's languages, or I assume if the better you get to know somebody, they want to do like audio practice or something. So that's been super. It's been really cool to have that as like, because it turns out like so many people want to learn English that as soon as you log on there and you say you're like a native English speaker, everybody's like reaching out to you, and so you have like, it's kind of scary a bit because you can't respond to like all the messages, so you feel bad when you like you don't get back to someone. But it's great from my perspective. It's amazing because I just can like go on there and talk to humans in Chinese whenever if I ever want to, even though I can't do that at all. I'm just like a beginner, so I only know like a few phrases.
Yeah, I'm using Duolingo,
Yeah, same.
learning Spanish and French, and Japanese and German and Irish.
It's tough to with language. It's hard to resist like tacking on a bunch of them. I'm trying to go just like all of my free. I'm trying to direct like a lot of energy and time just towards like Chinese exclusively. I don't know if that's maybe spreading out more would actually be more beneficial or something. But yeah, I
No,
find a
not
lot
with
of
Chinese.
yeah, you got it. Yeah. I think it's gonna take. I'm sort of willing to like invest a lot of time, and uh, I feel like I have a pretty good shot of like sticking with it at least. And I'll see. I didn't really learn French at all. I don't really speak French very well, even despite all the training I had. So, but I feel like that was
Yeah,
bad training. I think the French training was bad. But this, I feel like now I know how to learn stuff, and I think I'll be pretty good at just sticking with it and doing smart things that will move me towards like becoming more able to speak Chinese.
Mandarin.
Yeah, Mandarin Chinese. Yeah, right now there's like the simplified characters. So I haven't directly looked at Pinyin yet. I need to look at Pinyin to learn how to pronounce, like when I see like a Pinyin word written. In Duolingo, I turned off Pinyin, so I've been just doing like the characters and the sounds that correspond with them, and that's been decent. But now, yeah, when I get into, if I want to send someone a message, I either have to like type out the Pinyin, or I have to say the phrase well enough to get the characters to appear, and then for the words that I know, I can recognize the characters, but it's not many words yet. But then, yeah, I'll have to sort of get into Pinyin just to be able to like get the characters that I want to appear when I'm typing stuff.
Yeah, those are
What
the
are you
toughest languages.
So how, yeah, Japanese is similar. I have a friend also learning Japanese. How have you found that? Or
Hard.
are you
That's a
focusing on
that
something?
that
Yeah.
that's a dedicated language.
Yeah.
You can't spread yourself. Yeah, you gotta like really dedicate yourself to it. They're just completely different. So probably because of different empires. But
Right.
Spanish, I guess Spain and France. I mean, they're close. I wonder if they all were conquered by the same empire back in the day, and then they kind of separated and went to their own little, the UK and
Yeah.
France. Because yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's a
empires have
lot of
been.
borrowed words, yeah, and stuff for different. Yeah, there's like pockets of language that share the alphabets and the sounds and a lot of words.
Yeah. So, so French and Spanish, finding it in English are pretty similar. Yeah, they're similar.
I
I'm
find the similarity is hard sometimes that it makes me feel like I'm not accomplished. Like if I learn too many words that are the same in all the languages, then I feel like I didn't learn anything because I just like I want to learn like things that sound very different. It's more motivating to like as be as different as possible so that I feel like everything I learn is new and there's no like I'm not just like learning to, you know, words that are the same but have like a little accent on them or something.
hmm I just wish everybody spoke English. Oh wait, most people do. So it's like I don't know, like learning French. There's no point. I know it's the
Mm.
official second official language of Canada, but who fucking cares? It's only Quebecers, and they don't even speak French properly. Even they will admit it. Spent 4 years
Yeah.
learning Parisian French, and I still can't understand a lick of what they say.
Yeah, the benefits that I think of today are only like some I imagine like some literature is in French and the translation doesn't do it justice or something, but like to get to that level, like it would be so hard to get to a level of French where you could like learn like a different way of thinking based on like the language structure of French, or say like dream in French, or read like a native French like poem and understand it in the way that like the French intends. Like that would be like that would be an amazing thing to do that stuff, but it would be like there'd really be I don't know, maybe yeah, now that I found this like Hello Talk app, it's kind of interesting like the fact that I can go on here and like I imagine it would work for French too decently. The fact that you can like talk to humans in like chat first and then it's like a language learning focused community so you can sort of chat about anything and it's all like geared towards learning language. That's kind of cool. Like having that in the back pocket, you know, like the ability to like whip out a phone and just immediately talk to a human being in a non-English language and like test out different phrases and stuff is kind of a it's like a neat thing because like otherwise you don't often run into like especially because it tells you like this person is good at another language and bad at English, so then it's like you have a chance of being better at their language than they are at yours, and finally, you know, we might only be able to communicate them with them in their language, and that's good for us because they can't we can't just like default to English as like the backup language or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it, but hopefully it works out for you.
Yeah.
I think it's more of like phase two. Phase one is you finish Duolingo, and phase two, you start talking to foreigners. I feel like if you just start jumping in and talking to foreigners without any sort of foundation, it's like you're just going to China and trying to fucking
Jumping
navigate
for the
things. Yeah, it's you gotta kind of
yeah,
learn
at this
shit
point,
first.
yeah, I'm kind of like it's more like right now I'm doing a favor for the other people, like because I'm sure they'll learn English a bit from talking to me, and maybe I won't even say very much in their language. You know, I'll just talk English the whole time, and it's sort of like maybe I'll pick up one word, you know, an hour, but then once I have like some phrases I can say, I'll get to practice them. But yeah, right now it's like more might end up being more for their benefit if I jump on there. But I wouldn't mind that too much, just doing that a couple times just to like establish like, you know, if I find someone that's good that's on there, then whenever I learn something new, you know, I can just go practice it or something.
Cool, man. Well, let me know how it goes.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's that phrase like no plan survives contact with the enemy, and I feel like a little bit with language it's like Duolingo is like the planning phase where like we're learning and we're planning like how the interaction is going to go, and then the minute you talk to a human, everything's out, you know, you can't even like process what they're saying as you're trying to think of the next thing. And I feel a bit like that. Like I just want to like have, you know, using the analogy, like have contact with the enemy so that I can immediately like assess like what is the best tactics to just achieve the goal of like saying a couple sentences back and forth with people, uh, rather than, you know, just feels like spending too much time planning will be shocking. You know, when I try to execute the plan and I can't do anything, then it's like, oh, I need to like develop this whole other skill of like processing audio, but like what they're saying audio wise as I'm formulating like a response. And you know, and everyone says something, everyone says stuff differently, so that if they say stuff slightly differently, it like throws me off or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
language is
it's very
tricky.
nerve wracking though. It is, yeah, it's super energy draining for me. Like I don't, in English I don't talk to very many people or something. I'm not very outgoing. So then to talk to other humans or even message them and stuff, it's very like distracting and draining. So that is like a huge energy cost. That's sort of the, you know, that would cause me to burn out. Like if I went too hard into these interacting with people things, I feel like that's the danger there, is that I would just burn out and stop learning or something.
Yeah,
So what
I,
do
I
you,
was.
what's your, you just want to sort of like travel and like appreciate the languages that are used in the places where you travel kind of thing?
Yeah, just the basics. You know, like I would like a hamburger. You know,
Yeah.
quiero una hamburguesa, por favor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like the basics.
Yeah. Ham bao bao is hamburger in Chinese.
Hambabao?
Ham bao bao. Yeah.
Hambambao. Oh, I like that one more. It's better than hamburguesa.
Yeah. There's a variety of things that end in bao, and bao means like bag, as far as I know. And so ham bao bao is almost like, in my mind, it means like like bag of ham or whatever. I don't know
Hambambao.
why people use ham. And then there's
Hambambao.
also like tien, like tien bao is wallet, and tien is money. So tien bao is like money basket, and is like the term for wallet.
Tiambao.
It's
I
kind of
like
funny
it.
when stuff like that lines up.
Yeah. I hear that the Germans, like some of their words when they describe stuff, this is completely just like an
Oh, they
example,
build
not
the
real.
words.
They build the words to describe the thing, and that becomes the word for the thing.
Yeah, they
So
have
like,
a system to do that. Yeah,
yeah, so like I don't know, some sort of like creature that has pointy ears, sharp teeth, and a long tail would be like sharp teeth, long-eared,
yeah,
long-tailed creature, or like long-tailed thing. And then that would be the name of the creature. It's
yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, I guess the difference is like maybe German is a little bit designed where like the words can flow together, and so you can, when you connect two words, it sounds good. When you just mush them together or something, and that's
I don't know.
why, I guess that's why they do it.
German's a very aggressive sounding language. Yeah, language is definitely interesting and complicated.
I feel like there may be, like, it's I feel like it's a cliche to bring up AI at any point now, because everybody brings up AI for everything. But I feel like if at any point in the future it's true that AI becomes like very capable, that will be pretty cool, because then we'll, you know, there'll be like AI that's hanging around that you can like talk to in these other languages. And you know, if you say the phrase correctly, then like the computer will understand what you're saying and go do that thing, whatever you asked it to do, like in the other language. And then there, you know, there'll be like a point where we can cross where like every day we can just say things in another language and stuff will happen, and it won't be like exclusive. Like right now it's sort of like you have to, like the only real way to like use language is like talk to another human, and that's not always like a fun thing to do. But if there was like video games and stuff and like different things, different uses for like spoken language other than talking to people, I feel like that would be kind of cool, because then maybe like at one point maybe we're just like playing a video game that requires like speaking a language to do stuff in the game in like a compelling way, and then all of a sudden we're just like learning the language for the purpose of playing the game, and we don't even think about it as like learning to speak. We're just trying to beat the game or something. I guess Duolingo is trying to be that. I get it like addicted to the experience in Duolingo, but then
Yeah.
yeah, then I'll end up like I learn like some words like really well because I want to get experience, and then I'll start doing like an exercise and trying to like memorize it so that I can just like do it quickly, and then I end up like learning just those words, and I learn them pretty well, but then I sort of miss out on like I spend the time just grinding the exercise instead of moving on and doing more words.
Yeah. I was doing like 2,000 experience points a day when I first started.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, I'll just finish a lesson. Because, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, before I was in Mexico and there was a need to like learn Spanish. And there's lots of free time. I mean, there's free time here. It's interesting though, because since I've landed back, I've been like busy, too busy. I'm closing on a property or closing a property in Atlanta by the end of the month. So doing that for the first time has been not fun. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
know.
why people make shit so complicated. Even when they do a good
Yeah.
job of making it look good and making it seem seamless, it's like complicated still.
Yeah.
The whole process of buying a house, unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, even
And
the idea that like only one person has to inspect it, but it's like everybody has their inspector and they book a time, and I've heard some weird stuff. Weird like duplicate work being done.
I mean just like trying to get a title and like the amount
Yeah.
of like lawyer paperwork and um so I'm trying to get away from complexity. So I'm trying to like get back to the roots, being in nature, being able to take care of myself, the basics, right? Like, yeah, I'm aware that there's AI and stuff coming.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't really care about what's going on in the world. Like I have stuff in the market, yeah, like stock market, but it's spread and it's gonna do okay if the market does okay. But like I can't live and breathe that shit because I don't care. I really just don't care about
Yeah.
making money. I have everything I need to be more than content and happy. Um, and then like leaving the military, be medically released, I'm gonna be okay. And even just trying to get the benefits that I'm entitled to is gonna be an ass pain in itself,
Mm.
which wish I wish that I didn't have to deal with, but it is what it is. If I want free money, I guess I still have to in a way work for it. But like
Yeah, it's
I'm
interesting, yeah.
I'm done with the bureaucracy. I'm done with the complexities. I'm done with like managing spreadsheets to track expenses. Like I just prep shit for my taxes, and I'm like, great. When I saw what I paid in interest for my mortgage, I'm like, none of this makes any sense.
Mm.
Like I just paid $23,000 on my mortgage, and only 5,000 went to
Wow.
principal because of the interest rates. And
And
my
that was because it was like you were making small payments over time sort of thing?
well, it's just basic like once a month mortgage payment.
Yeah.
But like because the interest rate is what it is, but they front end load the interest.
Mm.
And I don't understand how 7%.
Oh, right.
Oh, I know why. Because it's spread over fucking 30 years. That's why.
That's interesting, the front loading. Like, I guess, they want their money back fast so they can invest it again. Yeah, that's interesting that they would front load like that.
Yeah, see, like for me, the idea isn't paying down the mortgage as soon as possible with the properties because I'm well, I'm gonna consolidate, but like the idea was to kind of like spread myself. But I don't want to do that in Canada because Canada is too high risk. It's hard to have enough equity in a place so that I'm positive cash flow. But more and more like renters are fucking owners. And I just heard a couple of even more horror stories about what's going on out there. And I don't want to expose myself to that kind of risk.
Mm.
Because they could like my realtor who's gonna sell this place was telling me he's in the whole 70K because of one tenant. Didn't pay for over a year and a half and then destroyed his place, costing $30,000 in renovations. I mean, people get murdered for less. Seriously. So if someone does me wrong, like in public, and I choose to assassinate them or murder them, the chance of it coming back to me is pretty slim to none because like it was a random encounter. But if they're living in your fucking house and pulling that kind of shit, yeah, you can't assassinate them because you'll be the first suspect. Oh, the renter was fucking
I
the
don't know.
owner?
I guess the relationship of like landlord and tenant is kind of a bad one for like both parties. Like, like one, like the landlord's trying to sort of like run a business and the tenant is trying to like keep a home, and it's just like it's not good that there's like money being exchanged on those grounds, because like one person's like vulnerable and the other person is trying to like extract value, and it just seems like it would be hard to see that go well, like both people walk away happy after that. But that's like the foundation of the whole economy, which is kind of crazy, that it's just like people need a place to live and then people selling the places, and then there's this whole like a big gray area about like who's responsible for like the quality of life or something.
Hmm. Well, I don't like how everything's set up. I don't like how expensive a home is. It doesn't make any sense, and I don't want to support it anymore. So that's why I'm
This
consolidating and
new
selling.
Oh,
I'm selling
okay,
everything.
right. Consolidating to like a new property?
No, consolidating in that I'm not going to have myself spread between the two.
Yeah.
Um, so selling the Ottawa place in a way, and then going to the Ottawa or the BC place is in a way consolidating. But the BC place, it doesn't make any sense either because it's a condo with strata fees that are like $450, and they continue to increase because insurance continues to double every year.
Mm.
Um, because insurance companies are fucking crooks and somehow able to get away from it because the government's not regulating that shit.
Yeah.
Condos are just a shit deal across the board. If you're gonna get a condo should cost like, I don't know, 150,000 max. Because you're paying into common property, you don't have control over it, right? But like when a condo starts costing between 500 and $700,000, it's ridiculous. A home should. I'm buying a home in the States and it cost me $300,000 American, and it's in Canada it would be worth 1.7 million at least.
Yeah.
A home costing $1.7 million does not make any fucking sense. The market
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. We don't make that much money. It's supposed to be geared
Yeah.
towards like what the income is of the people. Anyway, I'm pulling out of it. I don't like it. I don't like how the rules are. And this is what I've come to realize is that when you don't like something and you have the freedom to get away from it, you should just get away from it. So,
Right.
like, I've been in institution all my life, school, foster care, group homes, military, right? And so I'm so used to like having to do things I don't want to do and grind that I forgot what it's like to like listen to myself. And so
Mm.
like listening to like what I want and what I don't want was never a thing before. It was just like I would do shit because there was expectations or but now it's like if I don't want to do something So for instance, like the realtor comes over, right? He's referred by my realtor friend who lives in Hamilton. His name's Tom. So he comes in, checks out the place, right? And he says, "Oh, I have a coworker who's gonna come join me." I'm like, "Okay, well, we never talked about this." And so we're sitting down, we're shooting the shit, and she's late because of traffic. So she comes in and is all spun up. And I don't know, she's just unable to get her bearings, I guess because she made a bad first impression and she was late. And they're not on the same page at all. He's like, "Yeah, man, we can list this place for 580,000 ish and go from there, right? Might need to go a little bit lower." She's like, "Well, I'm thinking like 550." Like that's a massive difference. It's like, what? And just the stuff that she's saying and the properties that she's doing her comparisons on, and I'm like, guys, interest rates haven't budged. You can't be using anything that recently sold because the market's still kind of cold. I mean, people are on the sideline waiting for Bank of Canada to drop the rates. Until that happens, we don't know what kind of market it's going to be when I am planning to sell, which is late summer. So I'm like, how about we just, put a pin in this and wait until the announcements. And yeah, Tom was like, that makes perfect sense. Let's do that. And she was like, well, I can get you the numbers now. And she just really wanted to crunch some numbers today. I'm like, there's no point in wasting your time because it's going to be useless information. It's not going to
Yeah.
reflect when I need to sell. So we were not on the same page. She was giving some weird analogies about skin cancer. And I was just like, hmm. So I'm thinking to myself after they left, I don't want to work with her. Like,
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it seems like she's sort of like maybe makes a commission off of it and is pushing to get that fast or something.
I don't know, but I was like, you guys might not be in it for the money, but every other single realtor is in it for the money. And it doesn't make any sense to sell at the property $30,000 less than what I can get for it, right? Like that's $30,000 that's I'm not getting. Like it doesn't make any sense. And I was like, she's like, "Oh, you don't have enough bathrooms compared to this one that's sold." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's more than just half bathrooms and fucking square footage. I mean, it's about how a place feels and where it's located." And I'm like, when you walk in here and there's like all windows, it's a corner unit and it's surrounded by green. Every other unit on the street, like I've been in many of them, don't have this. They just
Mm.
overlook other buildings, which is fucking bullshit. I mean, I have green all around me. It's what I see. And I got mirrors all on the inside of where I don't have windows. So I just look in any direction and then I can see the outside and it's all green. It's extravagant. Like when I came to this place, I was like, fuck yeah. Like this is it. This is what I want. And I was like, to only make 10 or $20,000 in I don't know, 2.5, 3 years that I've been here, that's not cutting it considering what I paid in interest just this year alone.
Mm.
$20,000 in interest. So yeah, I get that I bought near the peak in 2021, but we still have scarcity in Canada. The government just allowed first-time home buyers to tap more into their RSP up to 60,000. The interest rates are about to drop, right? People are desperate to buy a home. They've been on the sideline for a long time. They're itching. So I'm like, it's gonna be a fucking free feeding frenzy out there. I mean, that's what I forecast, but you never know until you see the market, right?
Yeah.
So I suggested. I mean, I don't know why I was like, they're the guys selling my place. They should be the one advising me, not me fucking telling them what's up. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to the point. The point is that most people would be like, oh, you don't want her to feel bad. She put in effort and da 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 yada. She should be able to. I should have her do the job, even though I don't really like her, and she seems to be kind of. She's not a bad person, but she really doesn't have her shit together.
Mm.
So a lot of people would entertain that still because they would feel bad saying, "I don't want this." They don't want the other person to feel bad. But one, I never asked for her to be in the picture. I don't.
Right.
I asked for Tom. So the fact that she's coming
Yeah.
in here and kind of like not on the same page and derailing shit, I don't want that. So I'm gonna sit on it for a day and make sure that's exactly what I want. Because like you don't make a decision if you're emotional or whatever. I'm not really emotional, but I'm gonna sit for a day. And if tomorrow I feel like, nah, I don't want her on the team, I'm gonna say, Tom, I don't want her on the team, man. It's cool. If you're too busy to take this on, that's okay too. I can find another realtor. But like, I don't want her derailing shit.
Yeah.
They were talking about fucking when they're staging my home, taking out the TV mount and then like filling in all the holes and painting it and then putting a picture of a TV. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on, guys. Take the fucking picture and put it over the TV mount. Like it oh so they can see it, and then they can just put the TV directly on the TV mount instead of having to reinstall a fucking TV mount. Like, come on, guys. Anyway, common sense was a little bit low during the discussion, I guess.
What do you think why wouldn't they just like list it for the higher price initially and like see what happens and then like
That's what I
later
said.
lower it? Yeah, it's weird. I wonder what they're worried about there. Like just
It looks
nobody would like
bad.
yeah, I don't know if people are like I guess yeah, maybe the online it would show that like this house did not sell at this higher price and then it dropped and they people would when they visit it they would see that like history or something. I think I've seen that
Yeah,
before. Yeah.
yeah, but and they're saying it's a balanced market right now. I'm like, yeah, it's a balanced market right now, but let's wait till the rates drop and then let's see what kind of market it is. Sure, right now you
Yeah.
got to get the price perfect, which is the market is determined by what people are willing to pay. And people are willing to pay what they're willing to pay, and the history of it's based off of the other places that sold that are similar to yours in the area. I'm like, totally get that. But that's not the market that I want to be in when I sell. I want to be in a seller's market, which is what I want to happen or what I expect to happen if interest rates drop.
What
They
is
just
what is the rate right now? And like when do they announce the next rate?
June 5th, and I don't know. I forget what the
Yeah.
Bank of
But it's
Canada
like
rate is.
it's supposed to be like high right now, I guess.
It's high right now
Yeah.
relative to what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, thing is like people would be like, oh, we don't want her to feel bad. We don't want to exclude her, but I have to listen to what I want. It's not about other people, right? This is about what I want. And if I don't want to work with
Mm.
somebody, I don't want to work with somebody. And she's
Yeah, I
cute,
feel like
but
yeah.
I don't care about that. I mean, I shouldn't have to entertain it because
Mm.
she's a woman.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's like a sales tactic where like if people they try to do like as much work as they can for you so that you feel like you're sort of in their debt and then it's harder to like refuse them, if you feel like you owe them something. And I feel like it's kind of annoying if that happens because then it's like they're trying to like tip the scales where it's harder for you to say no when they should be sort of just like doing a free assessment and then stepping back and giving you space.
Yeah, well, the amount of work that they've done, I can do in like 10
Yeah.
minutes. So I don't care.
Yeah.
And the information they fed me was all obsolete anyway. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If anything, they're just wasting my time. And they're like, they owe me at this point because they wasted an hour of my time. Yeah, man. So it's about honoring what it is that I want. And, I didn't want to go into the military anymore. I didn't want to go to work anymore. I just didn't want to do it. I dreaded going in. Hated my job. Hated the people I was around. Well, okay, some of the people I was around were okay, but most of the community don't like.
Yeah.
I've endured that shit for too long because I had no other options, and now I got options. So
Yeah. Hopefully that feels like a weight off your shoulders, all that. And then you feel more positive, like moving away from that. That sounds good.
Well, I don't know, man. We'll see because my alopecia areata is moving throughout my body, and I'm continuing to have patches of hair just disappear,
Oh.
and that's my autoimmune system reacting. So, and that's in response to, I guess, extreme stress. So my body's still overcoming some stuff.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Time will tell, right? I think this whole doing what I want, not grinding, not pushing through stuff is it's important. I want to be strong. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy, and I want to be well rested, and I want community and family. So I know that these are things that I want, and I'm happy to put energy towards that. So like being active every single day, it requires effort, especially in an area, in an environment that has been built to make things super easy for us. A car, to travel places, like that takes us everywhere so we don't need to walk. That's just, I mean, that's really the biggest example. We really don't need to walk anywhere. We just drive everywhere, right?
That's
But
kind
like,
of bad though. It's fun to
it is,
it's fun to have be forced to walk. Yeah.
it is bad. And
Yeah.
my vehicle, I would say breaking down, but it didn't break down in the end. It was just needed spark plugs. Fucking Toyota 4Runners, they last forever. This is a 98, and she runs better than she did before.
Hmm.
She's not going to die. Like it's gonna rust out before it goes.
Hmm.
But it going into the shop was great because it forced me to walk to the gym, which was an 8-minute drive away. And here's the most ridiculous thing. I was afraid to walk.
Because of all the cars. Yeah.
Mm. Um, no, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of barrier that made it so I didn't want to do it.
Oh,
Even though I wanted to go to the gym, I didn't want to walk to the gym. I didn't want to be uncomfortable walking, or the noise was something
hmm.
else, but I have noise canceling headphones. But there was something holding me back from walking. The unknown
Yeah.
f- experience, I guess, was sort of just the fact that it was unknown. I haven't done before. I didn't want to do it, man. And I ended up doing it because I wanted to go to the gym bad enough because I had no other option. No path of least resistance was available to me. And first walk wasn't that great, but then I kept walking to and from, and I discovered new routes, new
Right. Yeah.
shortcuts, and I found a new forest. I mean, I've drove by this forest. I didn't realize there was a whole fucking trail system in it.
Yeah.
I really liked that. Like that was really cool. It's
Yeah. That's
ridiculous.
something that I find. Yeah. Like I encounter, like, I've never driven a car. So I've only ever known, like, whenever I go to a place, I immediately find all the trails. And then I have like good routes everywhere that I'll go far. I'll walk like, 30, 45 minutes extra just to cut through like all the nice places. And then I'll talk to like car drivers and they don't really know any of that stuff is there. And when they have to walk somewhere, they walk like right on the side of the road where they would drive and it's really bad. And then they don't like it. But then, yeah, whenever the more I walk, the more I will extend the route and like weave together different routes. There's always a point though where I'll locate like some bottlenecks where like there's like the bad intersection where like no matter which way I go, I always end up like, for example, at some intersection that takes really long to cross and there's no other way to get across it. And that's kind of bad. It would be nice if they
Yeah.
would just like patch up, like just put like one little bridge there and then you'd have a perfect system. There's always like one disjointed piece at least.
Yeah, I got one of those here too.
Yeah.
I got to cross the one intersection, but the other one, I can go under the bridge, the
Yeah.
Memorial Bridge. There's a path that wraps around, and I do that. And then instead of walking along the road, which I did the first time, I take a shortcut past this old age home, and then I start going through some suburbs. But eventually, the suburbs lead to a park, which then eventually takes me to the gym. Before it was just
Yeah.
all along the sidewalk
Yeah.
to the gym, and yeah, that sucked. And then from the gym, I don't go back the same way. I cross the street. I go to Starbucks. I do a little bit of laptop work. I have my protein shake. I go towards like this bus stop area and I just discovered this like 3 walks ago. And to the right is a trail that leads into the forest that I kept driving by for 2 years, and I never knew there was a trail system in it. So I just started
Yeah.
exploring that trail system, and it's fucking awesome. And so I
Yeah.
do that, and eventually I come out um, back to suburbia. But instead, I'm across the street from the on my way there. I'm on the other side of the street, and there's like, I'm on like the outskirt of a suburbia, but there's like grass to walk on, so I walk on the grass instead of the sidewalk. Eventually, it takes me
Yeah.
to the Memorial Bridge. Walk. Well, I don't need to walk under the bridge this time because I'm on the right side. But if I wanted to, I could walk under the bridge, come out the other side, and then I can go through this park, cross, eventually get to some lights, cross, get to like the Independent. But instead of going where the parking lot is, I just go behind the Independent where there's a bunch of trees and shade
Yeah.
that eventually takes me out to the main road in front of my house. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that is such a better walk than walking along the sidewalk the entire fucking time. And
Yeah.
part of it is just like, I think everybody who does the 9 to 5 grind probably experiences this. You get in your car, well, except you, because you don't drive, but you get in your car, you drive to work, you come back, and then you're too tired to do anything. Wash and repeat 5 days a week, you work for the weekend. And then maybe you go to like a trail where everybody else is going. So it's like, it's rare that you're going to be walking anywhere because it takes forever and time is of the essence when you only have the evenings to yourself and people have other responsibilities and things to do. So taking 2 hours for a round trip walking is usually outside of what people can do. But when you aren't working, then you can do that. And it's a great way to fill the day, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like
Uh,
filling a couple hours, like breaking up the day with that. It's very refreshing. And the thing about like if you have a car, usually it means like driving somewhere and then walking in a loop and driving back. But with if you have no car, you can just walk wherever you want. And then when you're done, you just take a bus like back approximately to where your place is. And there's really no limit. Like you don't have to end back at the parking lot where your car is. You can just go from like wherever you are, from work, you can just walk in any direction. You can go to any coffee shop on any trail anywhere. And then just like when you're done, you just catch some ride back. And there's no like you don't have to like get a bus back to your car and then drive back. It's just like there's one trip in a bus from where you stopped, or you can just sort of just walk back to your place. And there's like a fun thing about like walking back, like using your own body to get back to your apartment and then feeling like all the cool stuff, all the nice walking you did is connected to like the place where you live, and then you feel like you do live in the place where you are rather than just being like shuttled around or something and not really experiencing like the stuff that's like wherever you're physically located.
yeah, and the key to all that is being able to do it, not being in pain and not because I got soft, man. When we used to do our
Mhm.
walks to Edmonton, like that was I'm half of that now. Like I have a limit of how far I can go before I'm tired. And I was doing backpacking for 5 days, man, but I'm not doing the hikes, I'm not doing the walking. My lifestyle hasn't been active enough, man. Like I don't do much in the wintertime. That's part of the issue. Last winter I did. I trained hard and I got super fit, but then I lost it all because I gorged myself in the summertime. And I
Yeah.
realized too, it's like when the better weather hits, I'm more stressed because the sun's up longer. I don't sleep as much. Everybody's on the fucking road. And anytime you want to go anywhere, it's traffic and more traffic. I realized, yeah, in the summertime, I'm reaching for more sugary drinks. I did this when I was in Mexico. I was drinking kombucha, like water, and I put on like 5 pounds of insulin fat. So I'm shredding that off now. Lesson learned. But it seems like with hotter temperatures, I reach for more sugary stuff, and I think it's because I'm stressed. I mean, I feel like my heart's beating faster when I'm hotter as well. So,
Yeah.
um, but when I was in BC, I really trimmed down because I mean, I wanted to do stuff all the time. I wanted to go to the rainforest. I wanted to go on the trails. I would hike all day. I would climb mountains. So yeah, I was fucking jacked, man. I remember my legs being just rock. So when I did the one to Fuku Trail, I could probably run that shit, which was 47K rough terrain.
Yeah.
Now I'm soft. I feel how soft my legs are, and it's the first time in my life they've ever been this soft. Like my quads used to have like a cut down the middle. I'm lucky if they don't jiggle. They're they're fucking jiggling at this point. So it's
The nice thing though is like if you're like I don't know, for me I really like to feel the burn, and the faster that occurs almost the better sometimes. And like so if I'm totally out of shape, if I can like be exhausted, after like a 5K thing, then that's kind of fun because it's a very short amount of time. Like you can get that like completely burned out feeling very quickly, and but then it goes away after you start doing more exercise. It takes longer and longer to get to feel like you actually did something.
yeah. Well, it must be
It's
nice to be able to finish a 5K because I can't finish a 5K anymore. I can't
Mhm.
without
Yeah,
hurting
5K
myself.
is I think like 95% of people are below 5K ability. Like there's a whole app called like Couch to 5K that's just like the whole app is just like a training program to do a 5K, which I think shows that most people are not ready for 5K, which makes sense. Like 5K is pretty far, especially if you did any sort of weight or terrain or anything
Yeah.
in the
See,
heat too.
it has to be fun. Running used to be fun when it didn't hurt, but then running
Mm.
hurt because of injuries.
Mm.
So yeah, I suppose the trick is I gotta build up slow and be patient with myself. One problem was like having a bunion. So I'm gonna run in Crocs, dude. Every other footwear hurts my feet except Crocs.
Oh wow.
Everything.
And running
Yeah.
in like
Man, I'm gonna run in
with
them.
the and you
Strap
just
on the
have like that
back.
one little strap. Yeah.
And I'll wear like my merino
And
wool socks, to help with the sliding
all
and
right.
friction
Yeah,
and
the
shit. Because,
huh.
but yeah, man, like run it. I would prefer to run barefoot actually and build it.
Barefoot's very good. If you have like the terrain that won't like cut your feet or whatever, then barefoot is very healthy for your feet. It's just dangerous to step on stuff. I think Crocs might be hard on your knees or something. Like if your feet are sliding at all, it might be hard on your joints, but you'll just have to see like do you experience that over time with like repetitive use or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking eventually. So my Blundstones, the soles are worn to shit on the one side because of the way I walk. I walk on my outside my feet for whatever reason. And so the back of my heels are worn down on the left on the outer sides. And I would just set the boots down and they wouldn't even be like flat. They'd be like kind of tilting over to the
Mm.
sides, like the outer sides. So I'm like, yeah, these things are fucking shit. They're hurting me when I walk. Guaranteed. So my buddy who's still in Mexico, he's coming back. He's like, well, I won't be able to get back till summertime when he goes back, but he found a shoe artisan, I don't know. And they're gonna rip off the rubber soles and they're gonna get cow leather and
Mm.
strap cow leather onto the bottom of it. So when I walk, it's like pretty much walking on a piece
Just
of
hard.
leather,
Yeah. That's good.
which
If
is
you that'll be hard on your feet originally, but if that will strengthen your feet over time in a way that they wouldn't. Your feet don't have to strengthen if you have soft shoes, but the harder the
yeah,
shoe, it's just very intense off the start. Like your calves will like completely lock up and stuff. But once you like just cautiously get past that, it's pretty good, I think.
yeah, because most of my walking is gonna be on the earth. Like climbing
Mm.
up Finlayson will be when I get to the rock part. That's the only exception. Thetis Lake,
Yeah.
all the trails, all of them are earth, right? Like, and I don't plan on doing a lot of walking on the sidewalk. So, but yeah, I think if I'm gonna do trail running, I'm gonna get a pair of like Roman sandals, where it's
Mm.
just like a piece of leather, and then just like run on that. And it's gonna fucking hurt, I know. But at least if I step on
Yeah.
something sharp, it's not gonna go through. It's just I'm gonna feel it, but it's not gonna go through my feet. And I want
What about
to
like
get,
modern? I guess you'd have like modern Roman sandals with like some nice like straps.
yeah,
I just feel like this, yeah, because I feel like if like the tops of my feet are very sensitive, and so if I have like straps or something, I feel like I would get like cuts on the top of my feet from the straps probably, and that would be the harder. The bottom of my feet would probably be fine, but like this, the tops, nothing ever strengthens the top of my feet, so it would kind of be, it would hurt. I would blisters on the top of my feet or something.
yeah. But like, I just think about if I want to be healthy, what do I have to do? And I just think of times before civilization. Like, get this, we used to walk barefoot everywhere on the earth. And then eventually, we came up with footwear and whatever else. And I guess they just had leather soles, so that was okay. But nowadays, we have concrete and asphalt everywhere. And we have shoes with cushioning.
Yeah.
So everywhere we walk, it's like we're walking on cushion, but it's not the earth. We don't get the same digging in with the toes. And so our arches get weaker and it leads to problems. And
Hmm.
just everything with society weakens us. It makes us soft and it eventually leads to injury.
Yeah.
And I need to get away from it, man. We don't realize it, but by making life too easy, we're making our bodies sick.
Yeah, I sense that more and more these days. Yeah, you were saying earlier, like not wanting to go forward with the AI stuff and like wanting to sort of get back to nature. And yeah, I can sense that too. Like, I feel, yeah, there's so much like entertainment and content and like noise and excitement that we're bombarded with. But also, yeah, even just the shoes we wear don't give us, they like lie to us about how the ground feels and how strong our feet should be, and then we believe that like we're not supposed to walk on the ground itself, but actually like we are supposed to, and it's better for us. And we're, like we're like we learn a completely improper way of walking because our shoes hide from us how our feet are actually supposed to work, basically. uh, and that's pretty, yeah, like it either leads to injury or it just is like a false reality that we're sort of in, and it's fun to break free from it and realize that we're actually like, we're human beings, we're meant to like be in on the planet and not be like sheltered from it or something.
Hmm. Here's another interesting thing about Crocs. So you wear Crocs, no socks, all right? And if you choose to do that when the weather gets a bit better, you can go when you find a nice trail, take off your Crocs, and then just like carry them in your hand or put them in your bag
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever, or like
Yeah.
strap them to the outside of your bag with a clip. And then you can walk on the grass, walk on a trail for as long as you want until you get to if you get to like a rock face or gravel, then you can just grab your Crocs and put them back on, and your feet can be dirty as fuck and muddy and wet. Doesn't matter. They're amphibious.
Right.
And that's the great thing. When you come back home, you just rinse them off with the hose, dry them off, and you're golden. And yeah, it's just Crocs, I think, are a great transition footwear to get you closer to nature, but yet it lets you deal with the outside world. Amphibious in that, not with water, because like land to water, but more like there's another word going from like nature to civilization. And if that term hasn't been coined, I'm gonna figure it out. Because to be able
Right.
to transition between civilization and nature easily, I don't think there's a word for that. To go from water into
Yeah.
land is being amphibious, like to go
Hmm.
do both, but to do both nature and civilization and transition
Oh
easily.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta figure that
Yeah,
one out.
speaking of like German, like building words in German, this is a good like build this word in English or something, coin a new term.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would make a good YouTube video, like just like a short YouTube video showing how, the use of crocs that you just described, like traveling from civilization into the woods, taking the crocs off, showing that you can put the dirty feet in them, then hosing them off at the end of the video, and just sort of showing like how the crocs support the transition from one place to the other and they don't get in the way. and they're easy to clean. It would just sort of, and then even like, I feel like that kind of video could be sponsored by Crocs. They would send you Crocs if you sort of show, you show that they're working for that.
The only footwear, man, that doesn't hurt me. That I have collapsed arches because I wore the proper foot, the bunny eared proper footwear. Then I had to wear orthotics, and the orthotics just made things fucking worse. They made my boots unstable. They put me too far off the ground. It's
Yeah.
like I was walking on stilts that were slanted. It was stupid. That's why my boots were worn like they were. And people were like, "Oh, orthotics are the way to go. It's what the orthodox, whatever they're called, the fuck physiotherapist said." And I'm like, you know what? I don't think any of these people know what's up. I think if people just did some earthing or grounding or whatever, and walked on the earth and used their toes to dig into the ground as they're walking, I think their arches would come back. Because like
Yeah.
the osteopath I was talking to, he's like, "Yeah, you can train your arches back. Actually, it's controversial between that community."
Mhm.
And he's like showing me like the digging motion with the feet and what that looks like. I'm like, yeah, well, it's unnatural to do it on a hard surface, which is why we don't do it. I'm just gonna do that in the earth, and it's gonna happen naturally by walking. But yeah, man, the bunion people who have collapsed arches know what I'm talking about when I say bunions. They fucking hurt. Every step you take is agonizing.
Mhm.
So if that's not our bodies telling us that something is wrong, I don't know what is. I mean, it's like screaming at you saying this isn't working. And
Mhm.
putting on the Crocs, for me, it's almost like walking on the earth while I'm on the asphalt, because there's enough room for my toes to actually like dig as I'm walking, even though I'm not really digging anything, but they're super wide. But anyway, enough of that shit.
Yeah.
I just Yeah, so part of it's like listening to what I want, doing the things that I want to do because it's making me stronger and healthier, more resilient, so that I don't feel like shit every day. I'm tired of feeling like
Mhm.
shit and being a vegetable, like not being able to move because I'm in pain or my mind is fucking broken because of my service. Like, I'm
Mhm.
tired of it, man. I don't want to suffer. And money doesn't mean shit when you feel like that. Money
Yeah.
doesn't take away the pain.
That's a good realization that money's not the answer and that you have to go like to something else. Because yeah, people will chase money thinking it is and waste time when they could be solving it more directly.
I mean, money helps, but it's not the most important thing we have is our health. And
Yeah, the forest walk. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
we're losing it
Yeah.
because civilization has hacked the whole path of least resistance thing. They
Mhm.
made it so there's no resistance. And no resistance isn't good. It leads to atrophy or whatever it's called. When you're in space and your muscles
Yeah.
disappear, like
Atrophy. Yeah.
atrophy. So that's what's been going on. We need resistance in our life to grow and to maintain ourselves.
Yeah, the whole forest walking thing, it's good for the whole body. Like I've met at least one physiotherapist that he says that, if someone comes to him with back problems or whatever, he'll say just go like walk barefoot in the forest because that makes that fixes your feet, it makes you learn to balance and stability, and it works your whole body, your whole back gets stronger by walking in the forest. uh, there's sort of a thing like it's a different thing, but in China they have like these walking paths that have like dull like stone, like it's like a cement walking path and it's got dull stones like embedded in it, and you're supposed to walk like barefoot on it. And the point is that like, as you walk, you're sort of, these stones are pressing on your feet, and it's just like they think that it's like they have this whole thing that's like, oh, the feet are linked to the whole body, so if you walk on this path then like it's healing your whole body, but actually it's probably just like teaching you balance and strengthening your feet, which are good foundation in general. But it's kind of cool to think like, I wish that every neighborhood had like a Japanese like Zen garden area with about a kilometer of walking paths that loop, and you could just go there for an hour and just walk barefoot on the trails. And every once in a while, they'd shift them up or put like some rocks or dirt or roots or whatever, and it'd just be like an activity. Like people go walk barefoot and it's quiet and there's a nice pond or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
A thought came to mind as you were talking about that stuff. What was it?
About
Keeps
feet.
happening to me. Yeah. Yeah. My memory's terrible. I keep forgetting what it is I want to say. I guess it's a good thing. I'm more focused on what you're saying than on what I have to say, right?
Yeah. Or your thing got muted, I guess.
Yeah. Just 1 second. Okay, so the thought that I had, I'm starting to get like a little bit of it back. See if I can rediscover it here. Basically, like as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that no, it's gone. Thought I had it.
Self-care is important. Like as we get older, we got to take it slower, and we can't just like spontaneously jump into stuff. I noticed that I have to do like longer warm-ups, and yeah, stretching every day is now important, or else I get weird like pinched nerves or something.
Yeah, I'd be getting that in my shoulders. Shoulders are
Yeah.
always getting pinched, and I have arthritis, which is bullshit. But sometimes it doesn't hurt. Sometimes I'm fine. Part of it too is like inflammation in the body as well. When you have too much inflammation, that can also lead to pain. And that's really dependent upon many things, like how you're sleeping, what you're eating. Why is it not coming back to me? Oh, geez. It might have been something to do with the feet again.
Like the feet being connected to the body or something.
Because you were talking about the garden, the Zen garden, and being able to go and
Yeah.
walk
Japanese
and all
Zen
that.
garden walking path in every community, and just working on balance. Yeah, there's
Balance.
definitely, yeah,
That's it.
balance. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so yeah, rocking shoes, right? Like we wear it since we're told to do it as kids, little kids, toddlers. Wear these little fucking Velcro shoes. Like right from the beginning, we're told wear shoes when we go do stuff. Okay, and if you were to walk with your bare feet, yeah, you would have incredible balance. Guarantee it'll stabilize your muscles, would be good to go. I didn't realize how shit my balance was until I started doing yoga in
Oh yeah.
university. Could not stand on one foot. My life depended on it. And that took a long time to train. And the neat thing is, I kept doing yoga even after university and when I was in Borden. And so after Edmonton, after BC. And I remember being in Borden doing the yoga at the yoga studio. And my left foot was always fine. My left foot, I bounced on it. I had great stability. My right foot, for whatever reason, it was harder for me to balance on, and I'd always get cramps in my arches. So yeah, I mean I don't think it's improved. So I do yoga and I do balance. I guess maybe I haven't been doing as many balancing exercises, and I'm gonna have to see how my balance is. But maybe because of all the yoga that I've done, it has gotten stronger over the years because I don't have the pain in my arches like I used to.
Mm.
But it was neat. It was a neat realization of like how shitty my balance was. So I'm gonna go test that theory, and I'm gonna see. I'm gonna stop yoga for a bit, and I'm just gonna do like bare earth walking and see how my balance is after all that. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh well. Speaking of healthy lifestyle and stuff, I'm gonna start shutting down and go to bed. I'm tired, man.
Yeah. That's good.
I'll catch you later.
Yeah. I'll see you.
Bye bye.